Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I just got home and settled from Reno, Nevada for this year's Powerlifting Nationals, and I wanted to get a video out kind of sharing my commentary on the day as well as giving my thought process and insight into the performance as a whole. So kind of starting here with the opening squat, and my mindset going into this meet, if you've been following along, was just the idea of getting back to my roots and having fun lifting a lot of weight. And that's why I moved up a weight class, right? And this squat on the opener perfectly exemplifies what I went to do because, 744, 337.5 kilos has never moved that fast. And as soon as I hit it, I knew that my goal of 804, my first 800-pound squat, was going to be there. Now, with that said, the primary goal was this 800-pound squat. But of course, going in, I'm competitive. I love to compete. And one of the big goals was to get on that podium top 3. And in the super heavyweight category, there were plenty of strong guys, and I knew it was going to be difficult. So the emphasis was really on making lifts overall. I knew that if I missed one lift, I almost certainly wasn't going to be on the podium. And then depending on how some of the other performances were, I could fall out of that top 5 even. There's so many great lifters at Nationals. Now, that 777 squat, 352.5, actually moved pretty well looking at it. If you notice, I do get kind of pitched to my right side a little bit, and I got a red card for depth, which looking, I thought it was plenty in, to be honest, but that's what caused us to be a little conservative and take 365 here instead of the original plan, 367.5. And honestly, that's totally okay. The goal here is to get over an 800-pound squat, and that's exactly what we did. Now, if you watch this here, it was really fast, and there was definitely some room in the tank, which is exciting, That's one of the easier third attempt squats I've had in a while, and to be quite frank, it was cleaner than the 777 squat. So that provided a ton of momentum right off the bat. Squat being my better lift anyway, I have to build that lead right off the bat because Enrique Lugo, who was battling me for that third place position, has a giant bench compared to me. So essentially I have to get a lead on squat and then give up as little as I can on the bench to him, and then we just basically deadlift it out to see who's going to have the higher total. Now some backstory. If you've been following along, I essentially had been benching for like 10 weeks and not touching my chest. I had a bicep injury from around December, and to stay pain-free, we weren't touching my chest, and then we just were able to touch with the bench probably 3 weeks out, and I managed to strain my right pec, right? And part of that comes from having to push things a little bit. I knew I was going to have some sort of bench press to make the podium here, and I really just rushed things, and it caused a strain in my opposite side pec to where the bicep was. So I honestly did not know how things were going to go. And in the perfect day, I was going to hit 215, which is 474. And it's actually only 5 kilos under my all-time best bench. So I thought that was possible. But the question was how much pain was going to be there from the pec and whatnot. And honestly, warming up, I was a little nervous. I had to skip my last bench day because the pec was sore. And then, as you saw, I almost gained confidence on the platform the more reps that I went through. And this 474 moved as well as it ever has. This is definitely, you know, if I was 100% second attempt material, and I have no doubt that something along the lines of 490 or 496 was probably there strength-wise, but because of the injury, I had to kind of take things back a bit. So if you noticed and felt like my benches were conservative, that's why. But part of it was all to set up for the deadlifts and to get onto the podium. And that's exactly what we did. We hit 215, and it put us just in position to do what we have to do here on deadlift. So going in, I was behind by 5 kilos, and I actually weighed more than Enrique. So the idea is that we had to pull at least 7.5 kilos over whatever he pulls to get that third place spot. And on openers, he actually opened heavier than me with 325. I opened at 322.5, but he only took a 10 kilogram jump to 335, which allowed us to make up this ground on the second attempt with 342.5 and actually get that 7 kilogram lead that we needed to have third place going into third attempt. So that was a perfect setup for us attempt-wise, because it puts the pressure on him to have to make a third. And if he misses a third, then I already have third place locked up. And if he makes it, then obviously I have to make my next attempt either way. And, you know, how things shook out, he got really close. I honestly thought he was going to lock it out, and it just slipped out of his hands for his third attempt. So here for my last attempt deadlift, third place was actually locked up already based off of seconds. But just to get some redemption on the deadlift from the Cayman Islands, this is what I had missed there. It was really good to get to come out and hit this PR at 352.5 and lock in a 932.5 kilogram PR total. And overall, that's 2,055 pounds. I can really taste it. You know, I'm probably going to cut some body weight, but as we continue to progress, that 2,100 is actually pretty close. You know, if I heal up my bench press, I think there's some kilograms to spare on the squat, and then just inch forward on my deadlift, I think 2,100 is around the corner. So overall, always a pleasure to get to compete with these guys. Stand next to Ray Williams on the podium, Pablo Oliveras as well, super strong, awesome competitors, all of these guys as always. And at this point, we rest and we move on to the next one. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. All of the support is awesome. And until next time, happy lifting.